Hello and welcome to the next episode in my final piece series. This episode is going to be based around makeup. As you can see here, I was listening to music the entire time, mostly Dolly Parton, so I do apologise if you see me dancing in some of the clips. I do apologise. The first thing that I did for this project was look through all my old makeup styles and how I've developed, and then I compared them, and then I moved on to seeing the key aspects of all of them and what I liked most about my makeup style and how I can include that into one big old makeup look. The main factors within the makeup looks that I have done over the past years is that they all make my face look shorter and rounder and created the illusion that I had paler skin. Now I can only imagine this is because I'm insecure about my skin and how tall I am, and that's just reflected on how I do my makeup. Here I'm writing lessen the yellow because my skin has very deep yellow undertones rather than pink, and that's something I've always been very jealous of because some of my favourite things such as Victorian dolls and that style have very pink rouge cheeks, and unfortunately I cannot naturally obtain that. The next thing I wrote was emphasise the eye area to once again shorten the face and enlarge the eyes. Next, I became very broad with what I wanted to accomplish during this. Have fun, obviously, because my whole project is around happiness, and look like a creature. That's very much inspired by Jasmine Bean, as I was watching a Vogue interview of her earlier, and she was saying about how she adores looking like a creature and dehumanising herself. I really enjoyed that, so I added that in. The next phase of this process was to sketch out some of my basic ideas. Not the most realistic because this is my art style, but that's how I like it, that's how I interpret my makeup and the skills. I also couldn't find my ears today, and this is when I recorded this, and then I labelled everything. Here's a second design which is a lot more simple and basic. Yeah. And then I did a quick annotation of that as well. The next step in the process was to write down everything I intended to use within this project. I did this because these are the things I usually use day to day. I then wrote a step-by-step list of what I do every day for my makeup. And transition time, it's time to follow those steps. As you can see here, I wasn't the most pleased about having to get up. Step 1 was to take a shower and wash your face, but not with soap. This is because soap makes my face break out, funnily enough. I don't know why that is. Is it government secrets? Is it a scam? I don't know. My face just does not like face wash. Wonder why that cloud's there. Because I forgot there was a mirror there. Hi! Yes, hi! Now I'm doing a little dance. Because why not? Shower complete. I was as fresh as a daisy, checking out my ingrowing roots. It was all going well until I realised people could see into my window because I didn't have curtains and there was builders on the scaffolding. So I quickly put my binder, put on some yummy deodorant because we do not stink in this household. I quickly put on my dress as the builders started to work right by my window. Here's my outfit for today. There's builders in my room and we're going to Sainsbury's to buy a selfie stick. I got a selfie stick. Selfie time! Selfie time!
Oh, I quite like that.
I know, now I'm a vlogger.
Huh?
I dropped a bunch of stuff.
You're a vlogger?
Yeah, I'm a vlogger.
Don't be rude. Don't swear.
I didn't swear. I said, oh my god, shut up.
Right, you've got seatbelts on.
No.
Because we don't know.
So I'm vlogging. How was
Yeah, the trip to the petrol station was fan-dabby-dozy.
I'm so glad about that.
I was thrilled with it.
Was you
Stop
actually?
vlogging me, will you please?
No!
I feel in
Watching your driving skills.
yeah.
A video blogger. Stop! You don't get. You look. We can just. No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed because you're making weird faces.
Okay, well.
Do you remember when you? Point of view, you're on a car ride with us. It's quite wobbly.
On the 20th, what's the date?
I don't know.
I think it's the 30th. The 30th of fall.
Time is a social construct. It doesn't actually
We
exist.
don't do that.
Time is a made-up thing. It doesn't actually exist. It's
So-
just so we can stay sane and organised. The only proper time is nighttime and daytime.
Do you think you're a secret caveman?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think so.
Bastards.
You absolute losers! All of you! Wait, is he leaving? That's not
What? It's
parking
not
space.
sparking this box. Bastards.
Can I get out now?
No. In for a penny.
Mummy, I've got a selfie stick with a phone attached.
Go on then. Bye vlogs.
Right, we're gonna run, or should I not risk it? You know what, I'll shrink it and put you in my pocket.
Bye. Vlog out man.
Logging out. I think the builders have gone. Right. Let's start this makeup tutorial, shall we? I do hope you enjoyed that little segment with my mum and the vlog squad. Next on my checklist was to pin back my should have been wet hair. But I had to go and pick up my selfie stick ready for tomorrow's recording. I'm not gonna tell you what that's about. Next step is to blush anywhere you want with whatever colour you want. Start with the cheeks, then move on to the nose, which I think I nailed. Unfortunately, I was unable to create just a single look with everything I enjoy about makeup and to show my joy for it and the creativity that it holds. So I ended up doing 3 looks. I am also terribly sorry for the exposure levels. I was so pale and so was the background, it just made everything look whack. Here I am just blushing my cheeks with purple, but it looks more pink on camera. It was very much purple. I blushed the nose with a bit more of a pinky colour. I also do think this was affected by the fact that I hadn't cleaned my brushes, so all the old red from previous makeup looks was still on the brush. The next step on my list was to add in any colour I wanted on my eyelids / under eyelids. Here I'm just applying some dark purple to my eyelids, below my eyelids and above in a sort of circular shape. I just kind of followed my eye socket. As you can see, they're a bit uneven, so I do go back in with a darker purple over the top of that one to darken it more and add some more pigment to it. I then go into my inner corner with a pinky colour and add some pink there just to highlight the inner corner. The next step on my list was to add any highlights to any of the area of the face. For this highlight I mixed some glittery purple and a shimmery rose gold to create this lovely colour. I later then go in with a iridescent blue colour, as you can see here. Here I use my finger instead of a brush like I did for the 2 previous steps. They were just the fat brushes and the thin brushes that I've always had. I don't know what brand they are, but they're just big and small brushes. Here I'm just touching some stuff up with the smaller brush. These weren't in the steps because it wasn't intended. However, some fallout did fall on my cheek that I had to rub off. So I just got a wet wipe. But these were really shit wet wipes, by the way. So it took like 3 or 4. Very annoying. Not for this because it's quite subtle. But for the entire look I went through about 6 wet wipes. Which is ridiculous. I can usually go through 1, but these are just really shit wet wipes. Now I'm just going in with the iridescent highlighter, as I did for my inner corner with the big brush, the big mermaid brush. Here I'm highlighting the top of my cheekbones to create a slimmer look and a more defined chiseled edge. The blush is much more for the cutesy doll look aesthetic and to make my face look a lot pink hues rather than yellow. Next step on my list is decide what look you're going for, as in what style of eyeliner. This look I decided to go all out. But oh wait, what is this face of contemplation? Fun fact, I scrapped this and went to highlight my brow bone because I thought that would add some good yummy sparkles to my face. So yeah, I put that on. This is usually to highlight the brow bone, but I just like it because it has sparkles in it. And finally, back to the eyeliner. Here I just started off with my eyebrows. Eyeliner is not just for your eyelids. With this look, I wanted to create quite long and sharp pointy eyebrows because recently I have really been invested in the idea of that. These are slightly tricky as I'm not left-handed, so I do have to go the opposite way, which creates a less sharp effect of the eyebrow. But I went with it anyway. I think they turned out alright. They could have been much worse. They were pretty even, and that's all I can ask for, is even eyebrows. Here I'm just doing a few touch-ups on the eyebrow. One of the main issues I have are sensory issues, which means I can't have anything that's liquid or moist on my face. Eyeliner's okay because it dries, but like permanently wet things like foundation or concealer stress me out. So I can't actually help or conceal any flaws / imperfections when I do my eyebrows, so I have to use wet wipes. Next step is eyeliner. If you could see if I moved my hand, but there was a mirror there. As you can tell, I'm new to this and I'm not very good at recording yet, but I will get better. The first look is a wing. It's quite large. I like to go big and bold with my eyeliner, as you will see. It gets a lot worse, as some would think, but I think it only gets bigger with size. When I first started doing makeup, eyeliner was probably one of the most trickiest things, because it requires precision, and I, as an artist, had never worked on 3D models / things before. Anyone can blend 2 colours together, but it's very hard to create pretty shapes on a face that is constantly moving about. But I think I have absolutely nailed how to do this now by tracing the outlines of my eyes when they're open and closed to create a midpoint for the eyeliner to meet up. I'm not quite sure why I like eyeliner. I think it's just one of those things you see it and it's like, ooh, gimme, that's very pretty. Here you can see I mess up quite a bit, but with slight adjustments I can manage to persuade the effect that they're both even. They usually very much aren't, but they have gotten a lot more even as time goes on. this is me just checking out my eyeliner to see if it's even, and voila, I've noticed how weird and wacky the exposure is trying to fix it with my hand. It doesn't go very well as the exposure is still very much off. I then go in with the same liquid matte eyeliner and just draw down some lines. I know Jasmine Bean has a similar effect to this, but is a lot more rough, and she uses mascara. I prefer straight lines and precision rather than jaggedy edges. I actually started doing this before I even knew of Jasmine Bean, so I'm glad great minds think alike. Next thing I do is the exact same on the other eye, trying to be as even as possible, but not so exact that it looks strange. I do like to centre the spikes down in the middle because it draws attention to my eyes more and creates a smaller face shape. I then quickly do a little bloop of black blood. I like this because I think it looks cool. Now on to the lashes. Okay, I've only ever applied lashes to my face one time successfully. Now we move on to lashes, which you will see I very quickly give up on because I can't apply lashes. I don't like lashes. I have my limits of how feminine I can get, and that is it. Now we go to lipstick, which is also sometimes one of my limitations when it comes to my dysphoria and how feminine I can present myself, but today was a good day, so I decided to whack it on. Here you can see I apply it as a triangle at the top of my lips, and this is very heavily inspired by my drawings I do and my art style, and I just really love the effect of it because it creates like a doll-like shape or an unnatural shape, which I really appreciate. It's not as if it looks terrible either, like some people can do when they overline their lips. As you can see here, here's me trying to apply the first lash. It doesn't go well, I don't have my tweezers, and my eye gets covered in lash glue, which really hurt. And my dysphoria was just like, you know what, this is, no, get off me. And I was like, that's fair, I don't like eyelashes. So it's good to know your limitations and your boundaries, and sometimes it's okay to not push those boundaries for an art project. I then reapply the eyeliner that was missing, and voila, there we go. Next look. Here I'm just removing the makeup with the shitty makeup wipes. I finally realised that it probably wasn't the best idea to have my camera there, so I moved it to a better angle, shut my blinds, and there we go. The exposure has sorted itself out. Next up is to blush. As you think, I actually just went straight for the eyeshadow on this one because it's a much simpler look. I got something in my mouth, I'm not too sure what it was, but I'm just cleaning off the brush here because there was all sorts on it. As you can see by the concern of my face, I dip into the red blush and use it as eyeshadow. Here I'm just applying it all over the lid, barely touching the upper lid and going underneath the lid as well. Once again, trying to follow, and as you see by my finger motions, blending it out with my fingers to create a less harsh edge. There we go, fingers! To create a less harsh edge and make it blend in with my skin more. Then I go in with this very loose powdery glitter sort of thing, and just apply it to most of all of my face and neck, because who doesn't like a bit of glitter? I then go in with my eyeliner and do my brows. Now, I was trying to create a more naturalistic look with these brows and not so long and eccentric, because this is a much more subtle look, because sometimes I do enjoy the subtleties of life. It's rare, but it does occur. Here you can see I was trying to create a blended front. Obviously I can't use concealer, so this was a bit tricky with just using wet wipes. The purple also stained my face, so that wasn't great. I had a patch of purple on my face. Still do. These aren't my everyday brows, these are only for special occasion brows, so they do take a while as I don't get much practice in. But with a lot of refinement, and I mean a lot, you can see I finally get the shape. I do get a bit stressed, but I'm now going in with the black eyeshadow and tapping it on the edge, the very, very tip of my eyelids. This is to create a blended smoky eyeball effect. I'm not too sure what it's called. I'm then brushing it off with my bucket, as you just saw. I then make the big mistake of trying to blend a wet brush with different colours, so I eventually give up with that and just replace the black again. I then try to smudge it out a bit. However, this just leads to me getting the pigment removed and having to reapply. So there we are. I then last minute decide to add some highlight to the inner corners of my eyes, as I thought this would be very cute, and turns out it was. Next step, lipstick. Once again, I was having a good day. Astoria was like, you know what, you can wear lipstick today, so I was like, swag. Once the lipstick's applied, we are finished. On to the next look, and with that you can see the huge purple stain on my face, because that's an area of my skin that's especially dry, so it's not too surprising that that's where the pigment stained. This next look was going to be a combination of the both, but it kind of got derailed, as you will soon see, and it very soon became its own thing. So I decided to keep all of them. First thing I'm doing is heavily blushing, all with pink, because pink is one of my favourite colours. I then go in and blush my eyeballs a bit before I apply the pigment, as I do with the smaller brush. Once again, following the curve of my eyeball hole. Also, if you see me chewing, it's because I was eating crisps at the same time as doing this. I then go in and add highlights to my brow bone and my nose. Quickly moving on to my eyeliner, which I did a lot thinner than the previous eyeliner, to add the effect of the first one. I also wanted to add this cat eye effect for homage to all my previous looks. As you can see, I fully poked myself in the eye with the eyeliner, so I decided to just go with it, as I was tearing up anyway and I didn't want to waste it. So I got my smaller brush and started to drip water. Within this process, I did poke myself in the eye with that brush as well, so just adding to the whole effect. I just used my eyeliner and this bottle of water I had nearby to drip the eyeliner down to make it look like the crying was intentional. Now, I've never done this on a look before, because this has never happened to me before, but I do very much love the outcome, and it also shows how unpredictable makeup is and how fun it can be to experiment with new looks. Even when you plan it to a T, it doesn't always go your way. So I love the randomness that makeup can sometimes provide you. That eye poke must have really messed me up because I did one eye and started an eyebrow. What was going through my mind? I don't know. Why did I do it this way? I do not know. I ask these things myself. Once finishing the one eyebrow, I go in and do the complete same on the other eye. But this time, hopefully, without actually poking myself in the eye with the eyeliner. I go to fill it in with spikes and add in where I wanted the teardrop to fall. I'm then trying to use my finger because the brush wasn't very effective, but it was more effective than my finger, so I decided to use that. A couple of times the droplet fell and didn't actually run down my face, so I had to lean my head back. Once it had run down, I added more eyeliner to make the teardrop look more pigmented as it did on the other eye. I'm then just adding the same sort of effect to my nose, as I was planning on doing that anyway, but adding the water definitely added it a more natural feel and created an interesting effect around my lips, which I then enhanced with the black eyeliner. Now, after I finished both my eyes and my nose, I finally finished the other eyebrow, which was a lot more easy because it was more towards the heavy side like the first one rather than the second. I did have to do a few refinements, but that was alright. They were very even and I'm proud of them. And with that, the third and final look has been completed.
Love zone.